Hi, everyone. We'll start in just a minute. Welcome. Welcome, everyone. I'll start in just a minute, giving everybody a chance to get comfortable and get logged in. Welcome, everyone. We're just going to wait 30 more seconds for all of the people waiting to get in to get jumped on and comfortable. So just 30 seconds. Okay, let's get started. Welcome, everyone. I'm Beth O'Connor, technology trainer at LIBOR. And today we're going to talk about Homesnap. And I hope some of you are already Homesnap users, but if you're not, I'm going to start from the beginning and make sure that everybody can get on. I'm a big fan of Homesnap, and I'm taking a little bit of a different approach today. We do teach classes in Homesnap, but we thought we'd do this just short webinar to kind of whet your appetite, get you excited. I'm going to hold off on doing questions until the end. I'm by myself today. I don't have a moderator for questions. So jot them down, your questions, on a piece of paper, and perhaps you can cross it off when I answer it. And if not, if it still hasn't been answered, we'll try to leave at least 10 minutes for questions at the end. We'll go till 1 o'clock. And we are recording this. It will be posted on LI Realtor probably by Friday, I would say. Jonathan is going to take the recording and process it, and he'll get it up on it's on the lirealtor.com/COVID. That's where they've been putting all of those webinars that we've been doing ever since the pandemic shutdown. So you'll be able to go back and look at it. And one thing that I really wanted to make sure you're clear about, there's only so much that I can cover in 45, 50 minutes, right? But they have a whole university, Homesnap Pro University, that you can get to either from the desktop version or your mobile device. You can get in, and they have live trainings that would be live webinars similar to what I'm doing. And these are done by Homesnap professionals. I'm not a Homesnap professional. I just know how to use it, but they really, really know every in and out. So they have tutorials, they have recorded webinars from the past, they have things you can print, and the frequently asked questions. So I'm going to go to a screen that shows, so many of those questions that you're going to ask me today that I don't get to can be answered here in this FAQ section. So I hope that's, I want you to sit back, relax. If you want to follow along with me once I get to the app, that would be great. But there's so much more information out there for you when you have all those questions. So thanks so much for your patience on that. Okay. So here's the question I have for you, the question of the day. How do you currently stay connected to friends, neighbors, families nationwide who are not currently looking to buy or sell? Now, I want you to write that in the chat for me, or I'm sorry, the Q&A. We have Q&A for this. I want you to just type into the Q&A, how do you currently stay connected to people who are not actively buying or selling? Okay. And by the way, somebody's asking about, yes, you are muted and your camera is off. This is a webinar and it's not a regular Zoom class. So it's a webinar format. Only me, I'm the only one who sees. So I see a few social media. Coretta Riza uses a CRM, email and phone calls. Boy, good for you. Make a phone call to say hello. Social media, WhatsApp, a lot of social media. Yeah, a lot of people saying they actually pick up the phone and call. That's pretty impressive. But I guess what I'm really talking about is people you don't talk to on a regular basis, right? We're talking about people like maybe there's a roommate from college that you see this person at reunions and, maybe every couple of years, and they really probably don't have any idea that you're a realtor. So that's really the kind of people that I'm thinking about here. Neighbors from an old neighborhood. Maybe you're pretty close with the neighbors in your current neighborhood, but certainly you're going to want to include them as well. So that's so great. Boy, you guys, a lot of handwritten notes you do. Terrific, terrific. Well, what I want to show you is another way to keep in touch where you don't have to do anything, basically. Hands off. We love that, right? Those handwritten notes, those phone calls, all your CRM, that's a lot of work. And this is a really simple, easy tool where you can stay in touch. It'll send them a regular market report for the zip codes they're interested in, maybe they're moving to, on a weekly basis without you doing anything. It just sends it to them. So it puts you front of mind, and your connection, all your real estate credentials and all of that are going to be there when they get that information. So it's really, that's the thing I really kind of want to focus on today. All right. Now, of course, some agents are going to use Homesnap without inviting anybody. That's perfectly fine if you want to. But you need to remember, if you use it and you send a listing to a client that is not part of your connections on Homesnap, they're going to get the listing agent's name, right? It's just like sharing from Zillow. So if you think about Zillow and how every consumer can see who the listing agent is on Zillow, right? Homesnap is the same. It's a consumer app where they can see the listing agents. But if you set up your account and you invite other people, you're the only one that they will see. You are the listing agent. And whether they're looking at listings in California, Colorado, Florida, we want you to be the person that they reach out to first, right? Maybe you can set up a referral agreement of some kind, just send them out a few listings. We'll talk about that. So like I said, you can use Homesnap without inviting people, but I'm going to recommend that you at least start maybe with just one friend. Okay. So let's talk about that. Now, I really want to, this is so confusing. So there's really 3 different versions of Homesnap. The first is Homesnap for consumers, right? When Homesnap was first founded, I don't know how many years ago, it was just a consumer app, and it's called Homesnap because you can actually stand in front of any home in the US, just stand in front of it, take a picture, and because it's picking up the GPS from your phone, it will give you the public records for that property. That's why it's called Homesnap, okay? You can snap a picture. The consumers loved it. They had like 5 million people sign up for it. Consumers loved it. But then they said, they're smart, those Homesnap people. They said, well, wait a minute, maybe we can get realtors involved in this. So they came up with Homesnap Pro, which is the same program. It's just it identifies you as a realtor. You're separate from the consumers when you get into the app, and you can invite those consumers. So we're going to focus on Homesnap Pro today. Now there's a new paid component out there called Homesnap Pro Plus. Whenever you see this plus sign, that's generally going to be something that you end up having to pay for. Right now, I think during the pandemic, they were running a big sale. It was like $500, and now it's, I don't know, it's way less. We can look, but I don't know a lot about it, and I don't want to spend too much time on it today. You have a free account. If your office is in the MLS, all of you have a free Homesnap Pro account, and I don't want you to spend a dime more until you get comfortable with this. There are a lot of agents who love the Homesnap Pro Plus, and you can ask them about it, but that's not our purpose for today, okay? Now, when you set up your account, oh, I'm sorry, this is a little bit blurry. I enlarged it, but when you go to the App Store, either in Google Play Store on your Android phones or on your Apple phones, you go to the App Store, just type in Homesnap. Just recently, it started coming up, House Finder by Homesnap. I don't know what that's about, if they're thinking about a name change, or maybe people didn't understand the word Homesnap, something like that. But if you just type in Homesnap, what you're looking for is this app icon that's white background and a blue crooked square and a house in the middle of it, okay? That's the one. It's the same one that the consumers will download. You're downloading the same one, but you're going to tell them that you're a real estate agent, okay? So here, I want you to take a picture of this. Actually, let me go back to the last slide. If anybody wants to take a picture of that, take a picture so that you know what you're looking for when you go to the App Store. And then the next slide that I have, I want you to take a photo of this if you do not have an account. This is how to set up your account. It's a little bit cumbersome, but if you carefully follow these instructions, you'll get there. It's got to find you as a realtor. And the only way they know you're a realtor is if MLS told them about you, right? We send them a list of our members, their email addresses. So if your email address was with, let's say, at Coldwell Banker, and you try to set up an account at gmail.com, they'll say, we don't know you. You're not a realtor. You're just a consumer. So it's very important that you use the same email address here. I know tons of agents who think they set up a real estate account, but they did not. Right here on this step 3, there's 2 options, and one of them says, I am a real estate agent. That's the one that you have to click on. And then you have to find your MLS. Your MLS is called One Key. One Key. It's not going to be under MLSLI anymore. One Key MLS. And then you have to type in your name or your member number or your email address so that they can confirm who you are. Okay. I also put, if you take a picture of this, you'll see the link to the Vimeo recording of how to set up your account. All right. So that one, I was just looking at that earlier, and it's short, and it should be very easy for you to follow. Okay. All right. So what I want to do now is bring up Homesnap. So give me 1 second to switch over to my phone. And let's see. Okay. If you joined us late, we are recording. While I'm setting this up, I'll just repeat that. Okay, here we go. Okay. All right, so now let me share my phone with you. Hang on 1 second. My taskbar is in the way. Oops. Share screen. There's the phone. Okay, let me just minimize this in the background. I'm showing my phone. Now, I do want to mention that you can use Homesnap on the desktop. Just go to Homesnap It's probably better when you're doing things like maybe adding clients where you really need to see it well. But for the most part, it's a mobile app. You know, think of it like Instagram. You're really not going to use it on anything other than a phone. I don't even love it on the tablet either. It's pretty much just the phone. So you can see I have the app already set up right here, right? I have Homesnap. And if you don't have it, you're just going to go to the App Store, like I said, and you're going to search for Homesnap, H-O-M-E. Oops. I got to move this closer to me. Okay. Homesnap. And just pick the first one, whichever one comes up. And as I showed you, there's an ad here. See the ad? This has nothing to do with what I was asking for. So I need to scroll up. And there's what I was showing you, House Finder by Homesnap. That's the one you want to get. Mine is already loaded, so I have open, but you have get. Okay, that's how you're going to put it on your phone. All right, so I'm going to open it up. And it opened to the most recent search that I've done. So let me just go through this kind of step by step. Yeah, you know what we're going to do first is we're going to talk about your profile. It's really important that you double check your profile the first time you use it. And the way you do that is down here at the bottom, you're going to see an image, a ghost image with the word me underneath it. Okay, that's where you want to go for your profile. Now, normally, sorry, I was in something else. This is what your profile will look like. When you first set up your account, they're going to ask you to load up a picture. And if you don't have a picture on your phone, they're going to ask you to take a selfie. They require a photo, all right? And then you can pick some kind of wallpaper behind that people will see when they come to visit you. And what I can do is I can see how my profile looks to clients. So I'm going to click on my public profile there and get a look, okay? Now they won't see all of this down here. They're just going to see this top part, okay? But they can message me. Okay, if I am a Plus member, I can put in my business hours connected to my Google account, that kind of thing, but we're not going to do that. Okay, so the one thing that really is going to be important when you first start using it is to set up the zip codes, the 3 zip codes you want to focus on the most, because that's going to affect your friends and colleagues and whoever you invite into this. So you're going to go to this gear at the top. And you'll see here, update my info. So that's one thing you need to double check on. All of you can't change your brokerage or your first or last name. That's coming from MLS. And you can't put just anything you want there. You have to put your license name. So, but my zip codes is the second one here. So this is where you can have up to 3 zip codes that send you notifications and that are included in that weekly newsletter. Now, when you invite someone, so for example, I invited my husband earlier and he started playing around and using it. And what he's seeing is these 3 zip codes that I have in there: Wilmington, North Carolina, Washington, D.C., and East Setauket. All right, those are the 3 that I have in there. You can use any Long Island, any zip code in the country you can use. But as he starts searching himself, and those will become his preferred zip code. So if he's looking somewhere in Florida and keeps looking and looking, it'll eventually just update and he'll start to see the news coming up for those areas. But initially, it's going to come up this way. And I have a client right now that I'm going to show you about that's looking in Wilmington, North Carolina. And that's why I made that one of my zip codes. Okay. All right. So let me go back. Again, I did that with the gear at the top when I went to update my zip codes. All right. And then you take some time to go through these other notifications. How do you want to find out about new listings? Maybe you have enough, it's enough, but so take some time on that. Okay. And you have your help down here as well. So this will take you into the same stuff that's in the university, right? And how other realtors are using it. I love that in the Homesnap stories. It sort of shows how other agents are using it. Okay, so let's go Now, what we're going to look at is how you invite your clients, okay? When you want to invite people, you're going to use this in your profile, invite. And once you do invite them, they'll be right here under your clients and contacts, okay? And then the more just lets you bring up a few random things, change your wallpaper, a mortgage calculator, share your profile, something like that, okay? But when you go to invite people in, right? I'm going to tap on invite. This is really a cool feature. It will look at your phone's address book, right? Everybody in there who has an email address or a cell phone number will come up. So for me, it's probably like 300 between business and personal and, you know, friends and family and all of that. You got a lot of people in here. Now, oops, let me do that again. I do not recommend invite all, okay? But I know agents who have done it. I had a guy in class when it first came out, and he had 300 contacts here, and he hit invite all. He was a brave guy. But he got, within like 20 minutes, he got people responding and accepting his invitation to Homesnap to look for properties. So it's something that consumers are responding to. And so it's just something you might want to consider doing. But what I'm going to recommend is that you connect with one person to start. So a close friend, a family member, somebody who will play along with you, look for houses, pretend that they're going to buy a house, that kind of thing. Everybody loves to look at real estate anyways. So find one person in your address book and invite them, okay? So when you select a contact, I'm going to select Dawn here. Once I select her, do you see down here at the bottom, it says plus invite one. That would just invite her. I don't have to hit invite all, just invite one, okay? All right, I'm gonna skip that. And I'll show you that I do have clients, a couple of clients in contact. Some have never responded back to me. So it shows my favorites, recently views, who I've invited, who's requested to connect with me. Because if a consumer finds Homesnap themselves, they can ask you to be their agent on there. So there's a few that I've invited and have not responded, so you can just resend that invitation. But the current ones that have are these two right here, and you can send them messages. You can see what's going on. Let's see what Tom is up to. He was looking at some listings. Let's see if it shows. View his favorites. Oh, I thought he showed me that he put a couple of favorites in, but they're not there yet. So it's a way for you to track your clients then if you want. And like I said, this could be something you just hands off. You set up the account for them, and until they reach out to you specifically about buying or selling, you can just leave it. You can let it go, okay? So now I'm going to go over to search. Let me just make sure. Yes, okay. So let's say that we have an old friend. I'm going to go to Homes here. Well, first I will do the Eastatocket. Hang on one second here. Yeah, I will do the Eastatocket one first. So this, let's say, is your market area. You can use this just like you use Stratus or Collab or any of the other RPR, any of the other apps. It's going to have all one key listings are here, okay? But notice I don't have anything. It's missing because I have 3 filter items that are making it so that nothing is showing up. I have to go to my filter. It remembered my last search, which if I go to the filter, shows that I was looking between 250 and 350. That was the North Carolina one, right? So I'm not going to find anything in Eastatocket for that price. So I have to reset all of this, okay? Or at least just reset I find it easier to just hit reset each time. And then I can put in a price range. So let's say maybe we want, we'll do 6 to, you can see down at the bottom, 6 to 750. And you can do bedrooms, baths, property type. I usually like to be more specific on that. I uncheck them all and I just say either houses, or if you're doing condos or co-ops, something like that. But this will stay as houses until I manually come back in here and change it, right? So my next client might be looking for condos and co-ops. Actually, the other filter I wanted to show you was the listing type right here, listing type. I don't want short sales, foreclosures, or auctions, so I'm taking those off, okay? So I've got 3 filtered items, and I can remove this outline if I want. I can move the map a little bit. I'll show you what happens when I remove the outline. Now I can look in the areas nearby. I can zoom out. I can zoom in. I can tap on any one of these to see just a little thumbnail, right? Any one. Just to see a little thumbnail. Actually, from the thumbnail, you can go through the pictures. I don't know why, but I just love that. Right? So right from the thumbnail, you can look at properties. The green ones mean for sale, and the purple is an open house coming up, right? If you go to layers here at the bottom, I'll tap on layers. You can put the schools on, right? They're not the school district boundaries. What just happened there? There they are. Okay, it depends on your zoom level a lot. If you ask for something and you're not seeing it, try getting closer or moving further out, okay? So I can see that this is Minnesota, and this one up here is Setauket Elementary School. Oh, and look what it did. It gave me the Setauket Elementary School boundaries when I did that. Now, you're not going to get that for all school districts, but boy, that's nice. This way we know which elementary school. Let's see what the high school shows. This is the high school. Oh, no, that's Nasakay. That's the boundaries of Nasakay Elementary School. We don't have elementary school boundaries in Stratus. RPR sometimes has them. Not all school districts share this information publicly, okay? Sometimes you're not going to see it. But for 3 Village, where I'm looking, I'm able to see those boundaries, and I can search homes right in that particular school zone. You see that there? It's got some neat features for searching. Okay. Also on the layers, you can just I'll turn schools off, and then I can just toggle over to satellite view if I want, okay? Or turn that off, okay? I can draw, right? So I can just tap on draw here and use my finger, right? So much simpler than any of the others. And then I can remove the outline if I want. Notice there's a save search also. I don't want to forget to point that out. Now, I want you to just notice here, I'm in for sale listings. For rent is also available, but then all homes would be public records, right? But you'll only see the public records when you're at a closed zoom level. And you can even see them when you're in this view. Watch what happens as I get closer to this particular home. Do you see the blue dots? Those are links to the public record for every one of those properties. The red ones are properties that just sold. Let's see what this one was. It's letting me tap on it. Yep, sold April 16th. This one down here sold December 1st. That's like yesterday, unless it was December 1st last year or Monday. I don't know what day it is. Yesterday. How about that? Isn't that cool? But if you have a property and you want to do get some public information about it, see what's on there, you just tap on the property, and then you can open it up by tapping on it, and it says it's off the market, right? It's giving it a valuation like all the other sites do. And one of the cool things you have in here is you can send somebody a rapid CMA. So perhaps this is someone I ran into in the grocery store, and they said, yeah, Beth, I had no idea you were a realtor. What do you think we could get for our house? So I'll just get some details, a couple of details, bedrooms, bath style, things like that. And I'll offer to send them just a very rough, quick CMA here. So you just tap on send a rapid CMA. You put in any details you want. Then you go next. It says select up to 3 listings. These would be your for sale listings that you're going to pick. So I'll take this one. I know that's in the same neighborhood. This one's in the same neighborhood. And it even tells me how far away it is. You see 0.3. And I think that one's in the same neighborhood too. So I picked 3 for sale listings. I'm going to click on next step. And now I need to pick 3 sold. Okay. So let's see if I can find a sold in there. There's a lot in contract. We need a sold. This one's in the neighborhood. That's a little lower. Yeah, this one's also in the neighborhood. It's a little lower, but we'll pick that one. And there was one that was super close. This one right here is in the same neighborhood. Both of them sold under 6. So you'll have a good range of prices when you send this. So then you hit next, doing this right from the phone, put their email address in. I'm going to put in, I'm going to put mine. Oh, that's not realtor. L-I, realtor, sorry. Keep doing it. I have my phone in a stand and obviously it's causing me issues with the keyboard. .com. That's maybe the last time you see me type today. All right, and then you can put a note in here, personalize it. Hi, I'll just say that, and then hit create. I think you have to put a message in of some kind. And it just pulls that all together into a really nice little report that you can then email, or you're already emailing it out, but it's finishing it up now so I can show you what it looks like. So that's a nice tool, that little rapid CMA. Okay, so it's 55 pages that popped up and it's disappeared, but it'll have your information on the front, the day you prepared it, your contact info. This is their house, the aerial view. And then just information that here's the comps that you picked, right? It's probably going to have a lot of detail about each one of the comps that you picked. Doesn't get much easier than that, right? But of course it was very quick. We didn't really study the comps the way we might when we're doing a listing presentation. This is kind of something you would give to someone before you get closer to that process, okay? All right, I'm gonna hit done at the top. And I can also send it in a message or view the PDF, but they already got that, okay? So let's go back. And now that I've shown you the public records, I'm gonna do a new search. So we have, I'm connected to a client who, she and her husband were driving through Wilmington, North Carolina, just on vacation. They went into the historic area. And this does happen, you know this happens. They fell in love with this area. And suddenly they're saying, you know, we really think we could retire there. The historic district is just beautiful. We walked for hours. We went to some of the shops, et cetera, et cetera. So we're going to do that search for that particular client, okay? So I'm going to type in Wilmington. Here we go. I have a couple of properties that I looked at for her. 28401. Let's put in that zip code. 28401. I have to say that makes things really easy, just putting the zip code in. Search. Oh, it doesn't like that. Here we go. Okay. So, so it outlined that zip code for me. I can absolutely remove it. And then I can start putting my filter in. Remember, I have filters left from my last search. So I want to change that pricing. They're looking to definitely stay under 350. Okay. So I'm going to go to price and I'm going to do, let's try to go back this direction. Let's do 250 to 350. Okay. And we still have our property type is just houses. That's good. And then our listing type is just resale. They don't want a new construction. So, okay. So we'll go back to our filter. So it's always good to double check. That's the most problem people have, is that they just don't realize they have something in their filters. And the easiest thing to do is just hit reset and start fresh. Okay. All right. So, so now we're looking at properties. They really like this area up here where the historic district is, right? So I'm zooming in and I'm going to take a look at some of these properties. I can either tap on it, or if I want to see them in the list, I just tap on the list here. This list icon starts to bring them up. Okay. So let's say we want to take a look at this one. All right. It's right in their price range, 4 bedrooms, 3 baths. We can zip through the photos, right, to see more detail. We like it. Now watch what happens as I take my finger and scroll up on this particular listing. Just watch what happens. Sort of magically, this bar popped up that allows me to either chat with a client, mark it as a favorite for me, or share it with a client, right? So maybe I want to share this with a client, but remember what I said. If they're not connected to you on Homesnap, they will get the listing agent's name. That's just the way it is. If they're not connected to you, you didn't invite them and they didn't respond to your invitation, then they will just see who the listing agent is. And maybe you don't care about that. So, but whatever, I just wanted everybody to be sure you understand that. So, but when you scroll back up, that disappears, right? So that magic bar, I like to call it, just pops up when you start scrolling down. So I'm going to click on the box with the arrow. And you can even text it. I'll text it to myself. Look how nice it looks when you text it. And then I'll show you what it looks like when it comes through. It won't take long. Okay. So here's what it looks like in my text messages. Isn't that beautiful? You don't see anything like that from Collab. It's just, I just love the way that works. And you can see other ones that have been, I guess that's because I texted it to myself. I got a copy of it both ways. Okay. So sharing listings is all done from this bar. So let's look at some of the detail they have about the listings. The property history, right? Now, when you see this yellow bar going across, and remember, I also saw it when I did that rapid CMA, that's your little clue that you are logged in as a realtor. The consumers don't see this yellow bar and they don't see everything that you see. Okay. I'm seeing this because I'm a realtor. You would see this because you're a realtor. They don't see everything. They don't see this full property history. Okay. Related people, the summary. This is coming from the MLS in North Carolina. Some of the listing details, right? School information, even the property lines. This is one of my favorite features, especially if you're standing on that property. You can open this map and actually walk the property lines. If I was actually standing on Marsteller Street in Wilmington right now, my blue locator button would show where I'm standing. So let's say I'm standing here, and I could walk over and make sure my blue locator stays on top of these sides of the property. And that way I actually can see. Of course, you're going to check in first before you start walking the property lines, right? But that's kind of a cool feature that you can do. You can walk on the property lines. It also shows similar listings, which I think is a nice feature, and recent sales, okay, which really, really helps any consumer see kind of what's happening with the market, all right? This tells me who the list, because I'm logged in as a realtor. I see that Ed Ward is the listing agent at Shoreline Realty, and I would call him and work out a referral agreement if my client seriously wanted to look at this house, right? I can mark it as a favorite right here at the top. Your favorites all show under your profile, okay? I just want to make sure. Okay. Yeah, I want to show you the agent lookup. We just have a little more time before questions. I want to show you the agent lookup. So I'm going to go back to Long Island. I'm going to go to Setauket, 11733. You have to tap it off the list. Okay. So it says, now I still have my filter, right? So I have to reset the filter if I want to see everything. And let's say, gee, you're really curious about this listing here. I'm going to tap on it. And then I'm going to tap on it again to open the full listing, okay? So I can go through the pictures if I want. But what I wanted to show you was further down, there's your rapid CMA. This sell speed thing, I think, is just going to be for Pro Plus. It's going to tell you whether or not they think it'll sell quickly. Let's see if it's working. Because recently, now, for a short time, they let everybody have it, and now they're charging for it. Okay, but what I wanted to show you was this section here, related agents, okay? So Renee Steinberg and William Chavez are the agents. Their names show twice here. I guess that's how they're set up as a team. And I can actually see how we're connected, all right? If I just tap on them, I get their contact info. I can call them, right? Just tap on the phone if you want to call them about this property. You can see how am I connected, right? If you've done any deals with them, it'll remind you about that. And then it shows me their activity in the last 24 months. They've had 36 listing sides and 37 buyer sides. Pretty active, right? And then it'll even show me which listings they had and which buyers they had, okay? So that's a really neat feature. And then the other thing you can do is if you tap on the name of the office here, RE/MAX signature, you actually will see all the active agents. And this blue and green tells me how many listings and how many sales they've had in the last 24 months, okay? So sometimes new agents don't have anything. And if there's not a photo, that generally means that they're not, it does mean that they're not using Homesnap. So don't try to message an agent that doesn't show a photo, because that means they're not using it, okay? And you can certainly look yourself up on here and see how that looks, but I think everybody really likes this, how am I connected? Okay. Now, the one thing I want to show you is the newsletter. Let me just come out of this. I'm going to just pause my share, and I want to show you this newsletter. Okay, screen share. Come on. Here we go. Because this is the hands-off part that I was telling you about. So once your client is set up and they have, either you have zip codes or they have zip codes that are their favorites, they're going to get this weekly update in their email, okay, with you doing absolutely nothing, right? And it's going to have their zip code and what's new, right? Any new listings, open houses. It's also going to tell you what's sold, right? I sure wish Strategy and Collab did that. But this really tells a consumer what's happening, right? Things are heating up. Any open houses, they can look and see more listings. And then it gives them this great market report, right? How many, what's the median sales price, median list price, homes for sale, how many months of inventory, average days on the market. And at the very bottom of the report is going to be you, your picture, your contact information. If they have accepted your invitation, they will get this newsletter. This newsletter was sent without a connection to an agent. So that's why this beautiful woman with the long brown hair is showing on mine, okay? So the newsletter is a really, really powerful, powerful tool. So let me go back over to the app. Give me 1 second. Pause the share. Okay, here we go. Back to the phone. And now I'm going to actually start taking some of your questions. So hang on one second and I see quite a few. All righty. So Cheryl says, I thought Homesnap replaces our mobile app for Stratus. Can we use it on a mobile to search MLS listings? Absolutely. We just looked. All the one key listings are on here. The old mobile app for Stratus is, it's not being used anymore. If you want Stratus on your phone, you need to download the Collab app. That's the name of the Stratus app for the phone, Collab. So just search Stratus Collab and that's where you'll be. Okay. Let's see. Jennifer says, I already have Homesnap on my cell. Do I have to redo the app? I'm going to say try forgot password and see if you can reset your password if you don't know what that is. Otherwise, you may have to start all over again if you don't think you're in as a realtor. Okay. Lawrence is saying, my iPhone contacts are not showing. So I haven't had that issue. That may be something, there's going to be a lot of questions you'll have that are not, that I'm not able to answer, but that the Homesnap people would. I'm not sure, Lawrence, if that's maybe some kind of a permissions thing. Did I have to give it permission for it to look in my address book? I can't recall. It's been so long. Okay, everybody seems to like the CMA. The invitations, Jackie's asking, to invite, do we need their phone numbers or email? Absolutely, one or the other. It'll text an invitation. If you only have their cell phone number, it will send it by text. Okay, so the newsletter, Kiki's asking, how do you find the newsletter? It just finds you, right? But you can also see it from the app under your news icon right here. Do you see news? So if I tap on news, this is really the same thing that's coming in to your weekly newsletter. Now I'm in as a realtor, so I'm seeing other things. They're doing some webinars on TikTok, but you're getting, here's a listing that sold yesterday in one of my zip codes. This one sold Monday, one of my zip codes, right? So this is the same thing that comes in the newsletter, in your news feed. But the newsletter, you'll find that in your email account, okay? And if you're not getting it, go to your profile and go to your settings. All right, let's see where else we are. Let's see, Chris says, can you eliminate open houses? I guess you can in the filter, I would think so. Carlos wants to know, does it work with commercial? Yeah, we can search for commercial in these. You know, not all commercial listings get on one key. We hope in the future, they're really working closely with the commercial leadership of LIBOR, and we hope to really see a lot more listings coming. So Laura asked a great question. What is different about Collab and Homesnap? So here's what I'm going to say. Use Homesnap for the people who are not looking to buy or sell. Just those people that you want to stay in touch with, who might someday buy or sell, right? Collab is for your serious buyers, very serious buyers. You're showing them properties, you're actively taking them out, whatever, or sending them properties, things like that. So it's an important distinction. You can certainly use Homesnap with an active buyer, but it doesn't have all of the same detail about the listings that Collab has every single data field coming from Stratus because it is Stratus. Homesnap just has some of it because we send it, but not all of it, right? Homesnap is a separate company. Collab is part of Stratus. All right. Let's see. Yeah, I think I answered this question. May is saying, I sent a listing to my husband and it showed my name and the listing agent's name. Was that because it was a North Carolina listing out of area? Now that's interesting. I have not seen that. I wonder, did your husband accept the invitation or did you just send it? If you just send it, it's going to have it on there. So that would be something to investigate. Okay, yeah. Yeah, a lot of questions about the newsletter. So let me go back to that. So when you set up a client, okay, let me just go back to one of my clients. Let's go to Tom. Okay, so I invited Tom. He accepted the invitation. He's still trying to figure out how to set up a password. He must have an account with another email address or something like that, and it wouldn't let him use his phone number. And so we're still in the setting up process. But because it has his email address, his new email address in here, starting today, it's going to start sending him that newsletter by email for my 3 zip codes. But once he starts searching his own zip codes, what he really wants to see, or maybe he even sets it up and puts 3 zip codes in. Everybody can do it themselves if they want. He'll just start getting a weekly newsletter. It just comes. It comes from you. It's just amazing. That's why I want you to set this up for with a friend and ask them to forward you the newsletter when they get it. Okay, so you can see it. Set up a friend. Tell them to search for listings. Tell them to just play around with it, and then ask them when they get the newsletter, forward it to you. You should get a copy of it too. I'm pretty sure you'll also get a copy of it. You know, you would get a newsletter as well, okay? Just because you're using it and logged in. You should get a regular newsletter. That's how I got mine. Okay, so let's go back to questions. Yeah, the rapid CMA, a lot of questions about that. So I'll go back and overlook that. I think I've answered the newsletter questions. Yeah, people are asking, how do I change my email since I changed companies? I tried to change my credentials, but I did not see the option. Interesting. That may be something you have to reach out to them for. If they're not using our new information that MLS has sent them, I'm not quite sure. Yeah. Okay. So the rapid CMA, let's review that again. All right. Since there's so many questions about it. So now you can only do rapid CMAs on one key MLS properties within our territory. You can't do it on a property in Wilmington, North Carolina. You can't do a rapid CMA. Okay. Just properties. So let's find a public record. I'm going to go with this one. And wow, I think this is one of my old friend's house. Okay. So let's say, you know, someone gave you their address, 25 Sherry Drive. What do you think we could get? So I start scrolling down, and in this agent actions, this is where I'm going to see send a rapid CMA. Okay. And that's where you just tap and choose, just go through the process. And it's just so simple. Now, the other thing everybody seems to be asking about is when you set up your account, let's see here, I'm going to go to my profile. If you don't see this where it has your company name, I work for MLS, that's why that shows, but it should show your company name. If you don't see this, you're not in as a realtor. You've got a separate email address and you need to start from scratch again. You took a picture of that account setup. I'll bring it up again just as we're leaving. Set up a new account as a realtor if you think you've set up one as a consumer. That's my advice to you. Okay. Let's see, where are we? Okay. Oh, that's a good question. Coretta says, what info does Homesnap give that is different from their Zillow or Google search? Gee, I didn't know you could search for homes on Google, but I guess you can. You just they don't really have a database, do they, Google? Anyways, a lot of the same information in Zillow, I will say, the same information, property history, old photos from previous listings, things like that. I would say it's very, very similar information that they're getting. I don't know if Zillow has those property lines that show you the boundaries of the property. I don't think I've seen that. But the big difference for you is that you lose your clients when they go to Zillow. They're not yours anymore, right? they're seeing every agent, they're seeing who's busy, they're in the middle of a big fish pond, right? When you connect with them on Homesnap, you're the only agent that they see, right? And that's the key difference here. That's why you want to use this. Okay. How do you know if someone has accepted your invitation? It'll say that in your profile here. Let's see. Under me, if I go to my clients, I have these options up here at the top, right? Favorites, recently viewed, invited, and requested. So here's people that I've invited who have not responded. And then if anybody asked me, a consumer asked me to connect on this, that would show under requested, but I haven't had anybody who asked for that. Okay. All right. So that's all under your profile. Just poke around under your clients and contacts to see what's happening. Yeah, some people set themselves up as the fake friend to play around with. I have to say, I do that too. And I get so confused. I don't know if I'm me or I'm the fake person when I open the email. I can't really tell. That's why if you can find a real life person who will play with you on this. Okay, so Diane, hi Diane. I added the app, can't get in with correct information. I cannot update the info without our signing in, and I can't without a password. There's no option to reset passwords. There isn't? If I sign out here, log out, let's see if it asks me. I'm gonna log out. This is risky. And then I go to that profile picture again. Right, and I say, already have an account, sign in. It should have an option for forgot password. You know what, it's so hard to see. It's right there. That's why. If you can't log in, forgot password is in white. You know, you can only see it when it gets nighttime in this picture in the background. That's the only time you can see it, but that's where you do forgot password. So any of you who think you've set up an account, get yourselves here and click on forgot password. And I think that'll solve your problem. Picture, you update that in a profile. Yes, Julie's asking about a PIN number. So when you do the sign up process, the last thing that happens is it's going to email you or text you a PIN number or a code that you have to put in. So just go through that whole process. I'll bring up the instructions. Jacqueline, can you ask for a client review on Homesnap? I think they have that now for Homesnap Plus, but not for Homesnap Pro Plus, but not for Homesnap Pro. Okay. Let's see. Some of you are saying I already answered your question. Jennifer, I have noticed that the app is updated with one key. Maybe I don't have to redo. What do you think? Yeah, I'm not sure I really understand that question. So hopefully I answered most of your questions. There are a lot, and some of them are covering the same things. So that was my point. As I mentioned, this is being recorded, and let me bring up the instructions I promised. Give me 1 second here, and I will share my PowerPoint again. And it has the page on the sign up. Okay, this is the page for signing up, how you sign up. Okay, so if you didn't take a photo of this when we started, take a photo of it now. And really, they have a lot of help. If you go to their help section, even if you're not logged in, you can go to their help section and get a lot of answers. So I really hope I've given everybody something to think about at the very least, and maybe a fun and easy hands-off way to stay in touch with people, but to make sure that they don't forget that you're a realtor. So this recording will be posted on LI Realtor in the COVID section, where all of the webinars, the Wednesday webinars, are posted. If you go to lirealtor.com/COVID, scroll down, we're now what 30 weeks in, and so there's at least 30 1-hour webinars you can rewatch. I can't tell you how many great ones there have been, but today's will be set up there by Friday, I would think. Okay, so email me if let me bring up my email if there was anything. Hang on, anything else that I can help you with. Otherwise, I hope everybody has a really great day, and it was great to be with you. Thanks. Stay safe and happy holidays.